Movie review number 1499 is The Mastermind. The Mastermind is a 2025 movie directed by Kelly Reichardt. Kelly Reichardt. Reichardt. Kelly Reichardt. So this movie has Mubi Productions, the Match Factory Productions, and Filmscience Productions. I saw this movie on November 2nd, 2025 at Mariemont Theatre in Mariemont, Ohio. So this movie takes place in 1970, where failed architect James Brain Mooney and some cohorts of his wander into a museum in broad daylight and they steal 4 paintings. When holding onto the art proves more difficult than stealing them, Mooney is relegated to a life on the run. So you're probably wondering, why is Mooney and his cohorts suddenly stealing 4 paintings in a museum? And why in the world are they doing it in broad daylight? I mean, you would expect that if people were to steal something from the museum, they would probably do it after hours. But no, this was in broad daylight. So, I guess you can say there was a reason or a motive behind Mooney wanting to steal these 4 paintings. However, he didn't exactly thought it through on what he was going to do with the paintings after he stole them. He's trying to figure out where to put them. But hiding these paintings is more difficult than stealing them. And it gets to a point where Mooney is on the run, and he has to make a life of himself on the run. So the question is, will the police capture him? What will happen to his cohorts? And what will happen to Mooney himself and to his family? So I guess you can say that Mooney is definitely the mastermind behind this whole operation. So this movie has Josh O'Connor as James Brain or J.B. Mooney, the mastermind. Alana Haim portrays Terry Mooney, who's J.B.'s wife. Sterling Thompson portrays Carl Mooney, who is J.B.'s son. Jasper Thompson portrays Tommy Mooney, who is J.B.'s other son. Hope Davis portrays Sarah Mooney, who is J.B.'s mother. Bill Camp portrays Judge William Mooney, who is J.B.'s father. John McGarrell portrays Fred, who is J.B.'s all-school friend. Gabby Hoffman portrays Maud, J.B.'s all-school friend and Fred's wife. Eli Gia portrays Guy Hickey, who is one of J.B.'s hired thieves. Cole Dorman portrays Larry Duffy, another one of J.B.'s hired thieves. And Javon Allen portrays Ronnie Gibson, another one of J.B.'s hired thieves. Matthew Merrill portrays Jerry. Wency Felice portrays Gordon. DJ Stroud portrays Edward Farber. And Amanda Plummer portrays Louise. So, this is an art heist film about Mooney and some of his cohorts who decide to go into this art museum and steal some paintings. And they're going to do this without being caught. And you're probably wondering, how in the world can they not get caught if they do this in broad daylight? Well, apparently it was when Mooney had a plan. A plan that took time, delicacy, and dedication. And they were able to pull off this heist. But the question is, how long can they avoid from the law and not having the police come after them? So Mooney is trying to figure out where to hide these paintings without telling his family about it as much, or also trying to get himself in trouble with the police. But Mooney knows that he is on the run, and he has to figure out how to not get himself out of the situation before he goes to jail or somebody that's hooked. So it's interesting that some people just take stuff regardless of what time it is. In this case, it was broad daylight. So you have to wonder, how did they do this without being caught, at least in the beginning? I'll let you guys see the movie just for yourselves to find out. I thought it was pretty good and pretty interesting. And I believe this movie was based on true events. But yeah, the filmmakers really did a good job at this movie, and I heard that this movie was filmed in some places in Cincinnati. Pretty neat. So that's my movie review of The Mastermind. Please enjoy from this movie review. Alright, goodbye.